Hi, friends. I'm here to have a solo episode with you today to talk about something that has come up in my own growth and development and also in working with my clients. I feel so grateful to have had the opportunity to work with many of my clients long term. I'm talking 10 plus years that I've worked with teams who I've had the opportunity to watch expand and reinvent and grow in just magical and powerful ways. And what comes up in that is that it's not uncommon to become desensitized to the voice of someone you're working with, to become desensitized to the impact of that over time. And I just want to bring that up because I've noticed that there's so much guilt and other emotions wrapped in that I don't think have to be there. The reality is that we are constantly growing and changing, and we want to blend that experience with different voices at different times that can help us to expand and evolve into the best version of ourselves. And we want to really align and collaborate with people who will help you find your own inner guru. Because at the end of the day, the voice that matters the most is you being able to hear your own voice and to be able to support yourself from that place. And where a great mentor comes into place is that they're able to walk alongside you, that they're just a little bit maybe further ahead or in a different place on that journey so that they can ask you powerful questions. They can plant new seeds, new perspectives. For me, a great example is I love Brené Brown. She has had such a massive impact on some of my own beliefs and perspectives, and reading her books and listening to her videos have transformed who I am as a person. I've never met her, but Brené, you've had a massive impact on me. And yet today, I don't sit down and listen to her the same as I did 5 years ago. Now I've expanded to someone else's voice and someone else's perspectives. And I always go back to blending that with the impact that she's had and some of those other foundational perspectives that she's planted inside of me. So let's normalize this, that over time, I think even I was mentioning this to my husband last night, even over time, think about your friends or your family or as a parent. So we were joking that our kids will come home and say, I heard the best thing, or someone shared this with me, and we'll look at each other and be like, I'm pretty sure we told them that. But when they hear it from a different voice, it has a different energy. It has a different moment for them. And absolutely, what you've shared with them in the past amplifies that they're able to hear it in that moment. And also, they've heard your voice over and over again. It's like it's there, it's natural for them. Husband and wife, same thing. Friendships, same thing. And so I think we just want to be conscious of this because what I know for sure is Brené Brown will be integrated into my learning, growth, development, transformation always. I will always be looking to see if she's come out with something new and wanting to listen to that and amplifying by sharing her work. I just won't be having it as part of my practice the same way as I did at a certain point in time. So let's take a deeper look into this because what I want to be really clear is it doesn't mean that that relationship is diminished. It doesn't mean that those insights, those experiences haven't been real and aren't important. What ends up happening is it actually becomes your norm. And this is something to celebrate. When you've been working with someone for a long time, the principles and insights and transformation that they have brought into your life and into your business become integrated. They become natural. They become a part of who you are now. And so you don't get that same rush that you would have received before because now it's a part of who you are. So that is something to celebrate. Really being able to almost look in the rearview mirror and say, wow, look how far I've come. The fact that something that was so new and expansive 5 years ago is now a part of who you are. Celebrate that. Excuse me as I clear that little cold I've been suffering for a few weeks. Familiarity can breed complacency. So, what's really important is that you do not allow that. Catch yourself when you recognize that something is becoming on autopilot. Let me give you another example here. I have a morning practice that I've now been doing for about 6 months. And this practice, I noticed coming into 2025 that it didn't have the same power that it had been having coming into the end of 2024. And so I spoke to my own coach and I said, I'm really noticing that this practice isn't having the same impact. I'm actually a little bit on autopilot. And so having that aha was that moment of recognition that if not addressed, it can become complacency. And we do not want that to happen. And so for me, it's now that here's a recognition that it's time to shake it up a little bit. It's time to come up with a new morning practice. It's time to incorporate something different that will bring back that wow factor that is important for our growth. Also, recognizing that a shift in perspective and a shift in perception is really valuable. So once we recognize that something has become a part of who we are, then we want to lean into that, to recognize that our results have been amplified. Our results are now unique to what they were before we went through this experience. And so instead of stepping into what's very possible to fall into this isn't working for me, I don't see the value, that can be a trap. What we want to do instead is say, wow, look at the value when I invest in myself and I invest in my own growth and I really commit to that. So recommitment is a thing. At this moment, we require recommitment. And we may need to recommit in a different way, like I just said before. Do not allow it to breed complacency, but also recommit. Recommit to something a little bit different if that's what it needs to look like. I'm brought to this point of what's required from everything I've just said is reflection. And when we don't take the time to regularly reflect, we are on such autopilot that our progress is stagnant. Our progress cannot continue to expand if we don't take the time to self-reflect. So knowing that my morning practice wasn't having the same impact on my growth, that required reflection. So making sure this is a new year, new opportunity to build reflection in as a practice, which can look like at the end of every day, or it can look like at the end of every week. But definitely come up with a consistent practice of how you will build reflection into your ongoing routines. And then thinking about engagement. This habit of someone else will be responsible for my growth. Someone else is responsible for igniting me. Someone else is responsible for creating the best version of me is such an old rhetoric that we have to let go. And what I mean by that is we went through the era of gurus. We went through the era of someone else. My growth, my expansion is outside of me. And that is a lie. Your expansion is inside of you. You are responsible for it. You choose what you choose. You show up how you show up. It's your energy. It's your rituals. It's your practices. It's your perspectives. someone else can walk alongside you and mentor you and bring everything that they have to the table, their responsibility is to walk alongside you as your mentor to help you be more curious, help you dive into the tough questions. And you are responsible for how you implement that, how you integrate that, how you amplify that. And so, tough truth, as we move into a new year, it's time to be responsible for you. So if something feels stagnant, then it's your responsibility to amplify that and to ask for what you need and to create the environment around you that allows you to be the best version of yourself, to ask others around you to grow and develop in the same way if you're within an organization. I think we've allowed mediocrity, especially coming out of the pandemic, to be on the rise. And it starts here. It starts with you. It starts with the choices that you make and what you will accept from yourself and the energy that you will show up with every single day. That's you. That's on you. And from there, then you go look for the best mentors, coaches, but really it's about transformation. So who do you choose to walk alongside you to help you transform? That decision is important also for you to make. And that isn't going to be the person that someone else in your organization is working with potentially. And it might not be the person that your leaders tell you you need to work with. And it might not be the Brené Brown, and it might not be the person on that you find online that everyone else is saying is awesome. Check you. Know you. Go deep inside, and you will feel that energy and vibration when you have found your person. So those are just like a few little pieces that have been sparking inside of me. I think it's so important for you to revisit what you need. What, if we look a year out from now, what do you want to be saying? How do you want your vision to have transformed and come to life? What do you want it to look like? And whatever that is, you actively seek the challenges that will get you there, the opportunities that will get you there, the curiosity that will get you there. Now you go actively seek what you need, and it will find you when you are seeking it. It will be there. When the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. I believe that so wholeheartedly. I've seen that over and over and over again in my own experience. And I know right now I feel so grateful for the group of teachers, coaches, mentors that I have around me. And they are not the same people that they were 5 years ago. Some of them are the same people. They're walking alongside me in a different way than they would have at that point in time. So let's acknowledge where you are right now. Let's celebrate the wins that you've already achieved. And now let's diversify your perspectives. Let's find the team that will allow you to step into the greatest version of yourself. I think one more quick thought, and that is all of this requires your transparency and your vulnerability. You need to first be honest with you. And you need to re-engage with you. What might surprise you the most from this conversation is a deep breath in and a deep breath out to recognize that you are responsible for all of it. You are responsible for climbing the next mountain peak. Oh man, I wish someone could just plot me there. But we've got to do it from the inside. And then we get to celebrate and experience the things that come our way. So recognize when you're maybe in a bit of a lull. Recognize when you've been desensitized. Recognize when you're on autopilot. And then slowly make the choices that ultimately will get you back on fire. Back on fire. Ignite that fire from within. Because everything that you desire is waiting for you, and everything within the vision of who you're becoming is possible for you when you really own it. The time is now for you. There is another way. I know that for sure. And so let's go. Let's go. 2025 is waiting.